Okay, Voxtur reported financials. There was a conference call, like 10-minute conference call this morning. And so let's go over the numbers. Now, you have to understand something. It takes about 24 hours to understand Voxtur's numbers. And so that's why it takes so long for me to do this video. So let's go over the income statement, talk about the numbers. And we have to talk about the numbers with blue water included and with blue water not included. As you know, there was a press release that Voxtur is going to sell about half of blue water for $40 million US, 30 million cash. There is earnout, but the total price is 40 million US. So 50.5% it's going to sell, which means that it will not have a controlling interest. So they excluded Blue Water's financials from the income statement the way they reported them. But in order for us to understand and compare the quarters, Q1 with Q2, I had to work the numbers and put them back in so you can see what Q1 with blue water, Q2 with blue water looks like, and then Q1 without blue water and Q1 without blue water, right? But just remember, right now we still own the whole thing. Voxtur still owns the whole thing, but when the transaction closes, it will only own half of it, okay? So let's go over this. So blue water, no, financials with blue water included. And I had to work these numbers. I had to estimate things, but this is the best I can do. So revenue for Q1 were 13.3 million. Revenues for Q2 with blue water included were 12.2 million. So short about 1 million or so or something, right? Where did the shortcoming come from? Well, they separated blue water in the financials. So blue water as its entity in Q1 did 4.6 million. In Q2, it did 3.5 million. So about 1 million less. So this entire drop from Q1 to Q2, it's pretty much blue water doing less business. And blue water has some recurring business and it has some bulk business. So I know that in Q1 they had some bulk business, and then so in Q2 they probably had to have less bulk business. But that's where the drop is, right? Then margins for Q1 were 67.4, margins for Q2 64. So slightly slower margins, right? Technology and operations about the same. I had to estimate one of these. I had to estimate this Q2 based on, because here they only gave us numbers for operating expenses for blue water, but they didn't break it down into how much was technology and operations, how much was selling and development, how much was general and administrative. But look at, if you look at the technology and operations for Q1, it was 7.1 million. And look how much of it was blue water. Almost the majority of it, right? Well, again, we don't know 5.7 how much of it was from technology and operations, but I would say most of it was from that, because if you look at the financials for Q2 here, look how much this number is smaller. The technology and operations versus Q1 technology and operations, almost $4 million. And then when you look at the numbers for blue water, almost the entire thing is there. So I know that these operating expenses for Q1 and for Q2 from Blue Water are mostly technology and operations, and it makes sense because they were, putting so much money into developing products, right? So anyway, between Q1 and Q2, they're almost the same. Selling and business development almost the same. General administrative, I would say they cut expenses even more in Q2. So if we look at the EBITDA, adjusted EBITDA, in Q1, adjusted EBITDA was about $500,000. In Q2 was about 1.3 million negative, right? So again, very similar, but it's different, but about $1 million. And again, where's the drop in $1 million? Well, again, it's from the Blue Water business, right? That $1 million. If Blue Water had one more million in revenues, then this adjusted EBITDA would have been almost negative, maybe 300,000 or something like this. And because Blue Water has 87% gross profit margin, any addition of revenues would flow directly to the bottom line, right? So with Blue Water included, the quarter is it's slightly worse in terms of revenues, a bit worse in terms of gross profit margin, and about double worse in terms of adjusted EBITDA. But it's not that much off, right? It's close. Now, without Blue Water, so they reported this number, and I had to estimate this number based on what was given in the financials and how they broke down the Blue Water separately. So, without Blue Water, revenues from Q1 to Q2 almost identical, right? 8.7 million in Q1, 8.5 million in Q2. Margins were lower, almost 58% to 54%. Now, if you're not including Blue Water, of course, you're not going to have margins like you had before, almost 70%, because Blue Water has almost 90% gross profit margin. And if you exclude that, well, of course, the margin for whatever is remaining is going to drop, right? So anyway, 58% to 54%. Okay? Now, this is tricky here because the technology and operations, I had to estimate this based on this number. So this Blue Water had much bigger expenses in Q1 than it had in Q2. And then now this technology and operations is higher here in Q2 because now they're introducing these new products on the title side. So it's tough to compare. But anyway, this is pretty much the same. This is better. So in terms of EBITDA, without Blue Water, Q1, EBITDA was negative 2.2 million. In Q2 was negative 3.2 million. And again, I would mostly say it's because of the drop in gross profit margin. And again, slightly bigger expenses on the technology and operations. General administrative is lower. So no, I don't like this number. Of course I don't like this number. I want this number to be EBITDA positive, right? That's what they want too. But here's the thing. Here's the way we have to look at it. Or not. You don't have to look at it like this. Because people love to be like, oh, I'm disappointed, so I'm going to do something. I'm going to sell or whatever. Remember on Plurilock, people were disappointed, and at one point, the market cap reached $2 million. That's when the financing came in. The stock is almost at $1 from, it was at 15 cents. They sent it as low as 15 cents. Now it's almost at $1. So it's being disappointed has to always be in relation to the market cap, the value. What is the value of the business? Okay, what is the market cap right now? I have to look at it on the US market cap, because right now the US market cap for Voxtur is 70 million, 70. We know that half of Blue Water, they're selling it for 40 million, right? So 70 million market cap minus, no, that's not what I mean. They're selling it for 40 million, right? 30 million cash. So that's going to pretty much wipe out the debt. So, or a lot of the debt. So now, so the market cap is 70, and we still will have the other half of Blue Water. What is the minimum amount that the other half of Blue Water is worth? Well, 40 million, right? And the market cap is 70. So we have to take 70 minus 40. It's 30, right? 30 million. All the other businesses, which is what you have here, without Blue Water, this is a business that generates this kind of gross profit margin, this kind of revenue profile. So, is this business worth more than 30 million? If we look at just at a gross profit per quarter, and we say it doesn't grow anymore, that's a $20 million gross profit, not revenue, gross profit. Do you think a gross profit of 20 million is worth more than 30 million? Yes, no question about it. Now, if you read my 20-page report, all the upside that is with Voxtur, does this make the business worth more than $30 million? Read my report and decide on your own. Also, I would also say that the entities that are buying half of Blue Water, they are going to bring more business on the platform. So they are going to make Blue Water as a whole more valuable. Okay? So I wouldn't be surprised if very soon Blue Water is going to be worth twice as much. So our half, don't be surprised if it's worth 80 million or 100 million, just our half. And that pretty much covers the entire market cap. And then you get all the other businesses with this huge upside for free. So that's how I look at it. If you don't want to look at it like this, that's fine. You can sell your shares. You can get all upset. It's your choice. But for now, this is the analysis. Quarter to quarter is not that different. I want it to be better, but it's not.